with spina bifida, the spine doesn't form correctly, and so it goes down to the point where it didn't form, and the nerves kind of unravel at that point, and so you have nerves that are still good, but nerves that aren't good because they haven't formed and gone to the proper locations, and so it forms this little pouch in the back that's a lot of fluid, and a little pouch that you can see sticking off their back, and so they have to go in, and the doctors, as carefully as possible, tuck those nerves in, and try to lay them as flat and smooth as possible, and sew that pouch up so that the nerves aren't just out in the open as much and can't be damaged. So he didn't go in for surgery until the next morning.
Yeah, they waited until he was about a day old. Yeah. And so that surgery went well, and after that he started showing signs of nerves working down in his legs a little bit, and
little foot started twitching.
Yeah,
and we felt like
there were little glimmers of hope.
That was a miracle, just to even see that little foot just twitch just a little bit. Just to see the little twitch in his foot. It's pretty neat.
He was in the NICU for a week, and then on Mother's Day he was transferred to the infant care center and was just there for about 6 days, 5-6 days, and then he was discharged, and he was only there for a little less than half the time that they suspected that he'd be in the hospital.
They said originally it would be 4 weeks at least, because he was 4 weeks early, and then his low birth weight and spina bifida made everything kind of, they said at least plan 4 weeks here. Don't plan on getting out any sooner than that. But Jackson was like a fighter, and did so much better than what they even planned. The great thing about where Jackson was born, he was born at a specialties hospitals for children, and so in that hospital they had doctors that were specifically for children with nerve issues and bowel issues and everything. And all the specialty doctors that were specialty for children, and so they were great, and it was hard because some of the doctors were very honest with us and told us that this would be very hard, and they said you don't have to do this adoption, and they kind of questioned why we were taking on a child with special needs and everything, which was hard. It was hard to hear them say that, but it was good that they were saying it because it was honest of them.
They said it would be hard on our marriage.
Yeah.
Which there have been hard times. So we've had to really communicate with each other where we're at, so that we could withstand anything that comes our way.
Yeah. But on the flip side of that, there were also the doctor that was over kids with spina bifida, who was kind of the specialty doctor for that. He was really good, and he set us down, and for at least 2 hours.
I don't remember.
That he sat us down and just talked about what is spina bifida and how does it work and what does it generally affect. And so they, a lot of the knowledge that we really got a lot of good information from came from him, and kind of what to expect. And he talked about how with spina bifida, with other spinal injuries, it's white, that you have good nerve activity, so he called it white in that sense, that you have good nerve activity down until that nerve damage point, and then from there it's black, that there's no activity at all. With spina bifida, it's different than that. So you have white activity down until that point of the spine, where the nerves and the spinal cord unravel, and then from there down you have what he called gray. So some nerves work and some don't. It just depends on how they line up. And so you might have feeling part of the way down, and then at the end of your leg. He said it just kind of really depends on where the nerves run and everything. So he said, you don't ever, spina bifida is not a cookie cutter thing where everybody's the exact same way. And everybody reacts the same way. He said there's people that don't have any feeling that walk, and people that do have feeling with spina bifida that don't walk. And so he said, never, with spina bifida, you never say never.
And that is what got us through.
Yeah, that was a lot of hope for us, because at that point we said, okay, if that's the case, then we'll be determined to help encourage whatever we can. It's not he has spina bifida or his nerves don't work so he can't do it. He said, if when he gets to the age of crawling, you try to teach him how to learn how to crawl. If you get to the age where he
starts walking,
to learn how to walk, you start to try to teach him to walk.
He just said to start where all the other kids start, and just be patient and work with him, and if he shows interest, then go with it. And that's what we've done, and that's been so beneficial for him. Yeah, so we had to have a pediatrician set. I mean, you always do, but we had to find one that was good, that worked with different kids that had different disabilities, different special needs. And we knew this couple, and we knew that they had a son that was a pediatrician. But before we set on him, we called to see like what would be good for Jackson, who would be good for Jackson.
Yeah, we called the hospital that was in
and
our area
he was
and said,
one of them.
what doctors would be the best for this situation? And they gave us a list of 2 or 3 doctors, and
he was one of them.
He was one of them,
and so we did it because we knew we didn't know him, but we knew his parents, and his parents are wonderful.
And all my coworkers at work, I went and asked, hey, who is your pediatrician? Who did you use? Who do you like? Which ones do you like best? Type things like that. So I had a little bit of background on, we tried to go and do a little bit of research on what doctors were good, who people liked, and that was critical because, especially with spina bifida, they're your first line of defense. If something isn't quite right, you don't understand, you want somebody that you can call, that you trust, and you can call up and talk. Mm-hmm. So that was really critical that we picked him, and that we got a good physical therapist, because we started that, like 3 months or sooner?
No, it was sooner.
Yeah, we started.
But we had to stop for a little bit for other reasons. But
yeah.
Then we started back up when he was about 5 months old.
Yeah. But yeah, so we got like a physical therapist that we liked, that worked really well with Jackson, that he loved, still does. Loved the physical therapist that he worked with and everything, and that was really critical too, to kind of help try to get to those milestones and everything that the specialist talked about initially.
Mm-hmm. So his first year, yes, there were lots of doctor's appointments and traveling back and forth to the children's hospital that we take him to, but it was a great year. There were lots of ups, there was lots of positives. Of course, there were some hardships because of just his needs and trying to figure things out, but it was wonderful. And they worked really hard with him, and along with his hard work and determination and the different blessings and prayers on his behalf, he has come so far in his 4 short years of life.
Yeah. So that's a big thing with Spina Bifida. We've been really blessed because Jackson is, like we were saying earlier, in 2 weeks, what they were saying should have been a month, he was released from the NICU and was released from the hospital and was able to go home. And it was a great miracle. Mm-hmm. It wasn't easy after that. It's not like, I'm done.
There's all these new things that we have to figure out of what to do in the real world outside the hospital. Because there were so many nurses and doctors and specialists that would come and visit and check on him and do things for us and kind of try and teach us. And then now we're on our own. And that was scary.
That was scary. We had to have a special car seat for Jackson.
What is it called?
A laying bed.
No, it's called a car bed. So instead of a car seat, he had to have a car bed. So he'd lay down he was in that for a couple months before he could even get into the car seat.
He probably didn't need the car bed. I don't know if we need to go into this story or not. Okay.
That's too much specifics.
Get me fired up right now talking about it. Didn't need to speak the car bed
anyway.
Even like small little things were huge. Like when he would, because he couldn't lay flat when he was first born.
So when he was able to lay flat, that was wonderful.
Just to have him, he had to have cast for a little bit. Even when he would kick a little bit, we'd be like,
with the cast on.
He's kicking, he's moving those casts. So that was like, one leg he could kick really pretty well. The other leg was really hard for him to move, but
he did it.
He still would do it.
He was determined.
He was determined. So it was like, maybe he can, because when he first was born, we didn't know if he'd even be able to move those legs. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, just the little things were like so exciting for us to see just the little minute progress that he was doing. It was awesome.
Yeah. So,
getting more information, and again, I guess it's kind of like the child that, the more love you have, the better. The more information you have, the less fears that you have that pop up, and realize that you're not the only one that's been through it.
And having a community of people, which we do, that understand what it's like, and you can contact them and say, well, what about this and what about that? And they can help you ease your mind. And it's just great to have that huge community and have that help and that support.
Yeah, there's lots of times we've been like, I don't know how to do this. And Sarah will go and find out something in part of her support group or the Spina Bifida group that we're in or whatever, and it resolves a lot of those issues. So it's, we'd love to be part of that, communicating, helping resolve people's concerns.
And seeing that life with a child like Jackson can be difficult, but like I said earlier, it's definitely worth it because he has shown me so much strength, and I get that strength from him. He helps me work hard, want to work hard, to be stronger, to be stubborn, even though I'm already stubborn, but like to help him to achieve, and he makes me want to help him achieve.